Hi, I'm Debbie Ingram. I'm a state senator from Chittenden County, and I am running for Lieutenant Governor of Vermont. There are 14 fabulous counties in Vermont, and this week we are going to Washington County in our virtual tour of the state. Join us. If we look at Washington County by the numbers, we see that the population is a little over 58,000, and that second largest population of any county in the state. We see that the non-white population is only 4.2%, though, which is a little bit less than the statewide average. When we look at the income, the median income is a little bit higher than the state average, and the rent and the home prices are a little bit lower, so it's a bit more affordable than some places. The poverty level overall is about the same as it is in the state as a whole, and the number of farms is a good number. It's 553. So we have with us today Rick DeAngelis, who is the executive director of the Good Samaritan Haven, the only homeless shelter in central Vermont, and it's in Barre. So thanks very much, Rick, for joining me today.
Well, I have to say, the main focus is on safe shelter altogether. Of course, we work within what they call a continuum of care of service providers in Washington County. And so the emphasis is on hooking people up to the services that they need, and especially helping them apply for and obtain affordable housing, because that's really the starting point of people addressing anything else that they need to address in their life, is having stability in their housing.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, I've worked for many years and trying to make housing more affordable and in homelessness, and that's so true. I mean, I think if any of us imagined not having a stable place to go home to, we can see very quickly why people would have difficulty stabilizing their lives. That's absolutely paramount before anything else can happen.
Yeah, for sure. So that's, number one, we're putting a safe roof over people's head, and we're getting them food and transportation to a certain extent, but the emphasis is on getting them into a better setting and getting out of the shelter as soon as possible, really.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that has always interested me about Washington County is the huge granite quarry known as Rock of Ages. It's nearly 600 feet deep. It's the largest granite quarry of its kind, which is a deep hole dimension granite quarry. It has a self-guided tour that you can take. It's got a huge factory where they make monuments and grave markers and tombstones and all kinds of interesting things. There's an outdoor granite bowling lane. It's really very interesting and unique. There's also a Vermont Granite Museum not far from there, where you can see lots of the history of the granite industry in Vermont. And it's certainly one of the most distinctive things about Vermont, and a very interesting thing to see when the virus is over and we're able to get back to visiting cool places like that. Washington County is, of course, home to Vermont's state capital, Montpelier, and the State House, where the Senate and the House meet, is a place that I spend a lot of my time. But one of the great historical features of our state is that we were the first to adopt civil unions for same-sex couples. The law went into effect on July 1st, 2000, and in fact, my ex and I got our civil union on July 8th, 2000. This was in response to the landmark Vermont Supreme Court case called Baker versus State of Vermont. Actually, Stan Baker is one of my friends, and I know some of the other couples involved in that. And this was the legislature's way of filling out what the Supreme Court ruled was necessary, that same-sex couples were entitled to the same benefits and protections as married opposite-sex couples. And then we went on later in 2009 to pass same-sex marriage. So that's definitely one of the most interesting historic facts about Vermont. And it happened in Washington County.
We're so fortunate in Vermont to have a grocery landscape that is, in our world at least, actually dominated by co-ops and independent stores. We sell to only 3 stores in one chain. And we've tried the other ones out, but it hasn't really. But we found so much more success with the local businesses. So it's a very special business community, a community in general here in Vermont.
Very true. Very true. Great. Well, it's wonderful to hear your story. Thank you so much for talking with me today, Randy. I'm so glad you could join us this week for a virtual tour of Vermont. We hope to see you again next week. And remember, fill out your census form. It's very important for the state. And also, please remember to vote in the Democratic primary for me, Debbie Ingram, for Lieutenant Governor. That will be August 11th. Looks like you're probably going to have the option of filling out a postcard that'll be sent to your home and asking for a mail-in ballot so that we can all stay safe. But you will also have the option of going to your polling place if you feel comfortable. So please remember, August 11th, Democratic primary, Debbie Ingram for Lieutenant Governor. Thank you.